The second moment of success that I'm about to share with you occurred in my life in 2005. I'd become very good at practicing and maintaining a positive mindset and the ability to think positively and optimistically. I noticed from time to time that I would have a lot of emotional frustration, and that this frustration usually occurred in social interactions with other people. Although the feelings in most situations were similar, it was challenging to really figure out what was going on because the context in which I would feel the emotions constantly changed. As a result, it took me several months to really pinpoint and accurately identify what it was that I was experiencing. I finally realized that the issue that I was experiencing was that I was still observing life with a pretty concrete paradigm. I was committed to developing and maintaining a positive mindset, but this paradigm that I was viewing my life with was causing a conflict in the ability for me to maintain a matching emotional state. This paradigm that I'm referring to is the paradigm of right and wrong. This paradigm can be expressed in a few different ways: right and wrong, good and evil, black and white, and I'm sure that there are many more. The label that we use to identify the paradigm is not so important as the understanding of the paradigm itself. I slowly began to realize that just about anything in life that seemed to be right most of the time could usually always have at least one instance where it was actually wrong, and vice versa. As I pondered this concept for a while, I began to ask myself whether there was a better way to judge information rather than right and wrong. It was this question that led me to the discovery of my second moment of success. So the second moment of success is this: ask yourself what works and what doesn't work. Now, let me be clear here. I'm not suggesting that we abandon our reasoning or that we give up the concept of what's right and wrong. I'm simply suggesting that we allow ourselves the freedom to ask what works and what doesn't work in life. Asking what works and what doesn't added to the quality of my own life in several ways. First of all, I found out that I could maintain my final say as to what's right and wrong while analyzing information with a more powerful perspective. The critical difference that I'd like to point out here is that I found that instead of connecting with information and disconnecting with people, I was now free to do the exact opposite. I could alternatively choose to connect with people and disconnect with information. I began to emotionally detach myself from information and discovered that instead of feeling threatened by someone who had a different opinion, I could effectively remain engaged with that person while I considered a different point of view. Instead of cutting myself off from people, I could cut myself off from any preconceived sense of right and wrong that I had in order to contemplate things despite my own opinion. The real benefit to asking what works and what doesn't is learning. Instead of automatically dismissing new information, I was now free to consider it in order to analyze whether there was anything of value that I was previously unaware of or missing. What I've learned since integrating this moment of success into my life is that I now have a lot more flexibility in life in general. I'm finding out now that quite often there's even more than one thing that works in a specific situation. In addition, I'm learning that when something worked out really well in one situation is attempted in another, it can be far less effective and sometimes may not even work at all, even when those two situations appear to be similar. As a result, I've noticed that I'm able to create solutions to challenges far faster than I was ever able to before. As time passed, I found that rather than feeling negative emotions, I was a lot more relaxed and satisfied with life in general. I've also discovered that right and wrong can both lead to a form of suffering. Being right can lead to pride and arrogance, which inflates the ego, while being wrong can lead to embarrassment or inferiority, which lowers self-esteem. In contrast, exploring what works and what doesn't allows me to maintain a perpetual state of fascination and a true passion for learning as I continue my successful pursuit of becoming my best self. My suggestion to you is to simply consider experimenting with this philosophy on your own. Observe whether you have more beneficial results or not by asking what works and what doesn't in your own life. I'm confident that by putting this theory to the test for yourself, that you'll experience positive changes in your level of success and fulfillment in life. These first 2 moments of success that I've shared with you so far have added tremendous value to my own life, and I believe that together they were the foundations responsible for experiencing my 3rd moment of success, which I'll share with you next.